Hello, I'm Calvin Farr, General Manager and CEO of the Service Authority. I'm here with Mrs. Joyce Eagles, our longest serving member of our board of directors. Also, our first female board member at the Service Authority. We are going to talk about some of the Service Authority's milestone achievements during its first 40 years. Joyce, the county's population grew from 162,000 in 1983 to almost 500,000 in 2023. How have you seen the customer experience evolve over the years?
Well, we have a lot more customers than we used to have. As the county has grown, I think the customers have become more involved. They want to know more about what their service is that's coming into their homes. And I think that's very important to them. When we first started, we only had 5 members on our board because 2/3 of the county was so rural that they didn't have any public water and sewer. And then as the county grew and the district changed a little bit, new supervisors wanted to have their own representatives. That's when we went from 5 to 8 members. And we got a second woman on the board too, which was good. When I first came on the board, one of the older members said, "Why does a woman want to be on this board?" And I explained to him that we use a lot of the water that comes into our homes. He thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, that's how we did that. That's how we started out. And I think, as I said, our customers ask more questions and want to know more about what's coming into their homes.
How have you seen the customer experience evolve over the years?
Well, our customers have always been our #1 priority, and providing reliable, quality service is important. People don't have to think twice. When they turn on the faucet, they want something to happen. They want the water to run, or if they flush the toilet, they want the toilet to flush, whatever. And those are things that are important to customers. And I think we've used modern technology to make sure we get the water to them in the amounts that they need with the right kind of pressure that they need when they need it. And I think that's very important. Other technologies come with the way they pay their bills. And I think that's important too. Do they have to just write a check, or can they go online and pay online? Can they use technology to let us know they have a problem? I think that's important to our customers too.
What are some of the ways that you have seen community engagement change over the years?
We communicate with our customers so many ways. They're proactive. They come in, they still do come in and they call. We also listen to their customers and continue what are the things that they're most concerned about. And I think we get a lot of questions about that. When we're cleaning the lines every year, what's going on? And I think that's a different way we communicate with them. We have a message that goes out automatically over their phones. And I think that's something different. So they know in advance what's going to happen, and I think that's important too. One of the things we do is we have a water art contest, and we've had this now going on probably since about 2000, I think, approximately. And it was small at first, but it's grown enough now that we have, I think this year we had over 150 entries in it. It's any high school student in Prince William County, even the ones that are homeschooled, can contribute, as long as they do the art themselves. That's the important thing. When we first started it, some of our vendors started to get involved with it too, and now it's totally supported by our vendors, so it doesn't affect our ratepayers at all, and so I think that's important too. And then we have the kids at school. Our community relations people, I think last year spoke to over 10,000 students, and that's teaching them the ways to use water safely, the best ways to use it, conserve water so that we don't run out, which we don't want to do. And I think that's helped a lot. One of the things that our community relations group does, and they've grown a lot, is they have something called a water academy for our customers. And there's usually about 3 sessions when the customers they sign up and they come in, and we have the different departments take turns explaining how do we do things like billing, how do we prioritize whether it's making repairs, how do we prioritize answering their phone, paying their bills, and things like that. And I think over the three sessions or 4 sessions that we have, they learn an awful lot that they didn't know. I had one person, I remember, I usually try to attend, and I had one person come and say, I've lived here 30 years and I didn't realize all this happened. They don't realize how complicated the process is of getting water and wastewater service taken care of for them.
As an independent public body, the Service Authority is self-funded and financial stewardship is critical to long-term sustainability. As a longstanding board member and audit committee member, you have seen the Service Authority weather through tough times. What are some of the success factors for financial stewardship?
Well, I think we have a four-fund system that we plan on, and we do a lot of planning ahead. We plan ahead for 30 years or more. Growth has to pay for growth, so when new customers come in, or if there's a new subdivision going in, they put in the infrastructure first, so that it's, again, the new customer coming in pays to get started, so that it's not on the older customers.
Now, as the general manager, I'm extremely proud of our AAA bond rating. Can you expand on what your thoughts are in regards to how we handle our financing and also our bond rating?
Our board is very much concerned, again, that growth pays for growth, and that when we plan for expansion, and we're looking ahead. Our long-term planning is gradual, so that we don't have to have any big jumps in our rates. We can gradually do this a little bit each year rather than in one big lump sum like some places do. And then I think the public appreciates this too, because it allows them to prepare and plan their expenses.
The number of employees increased from 151 in 1983 to 355 employees today. I have heard you talk about your respect and appreciation for our employees. What do you think has been the most important in our becoming a workplace of choice?
Well, I think we listen to our employees, and I think that's very important. They provide, in fact, some of our new ideas. They're looking around, what can I do to make my job better? And we listen to that and take advantage of that. And I think that's important. I think we've also done a lot to make sure they have health insurance, that they have planning for retirement, and that they have, they belong here. And again, whatever they say, we do listen to. I think that's the important thing.
Yes. We appreciate you being here today to talk about our 40 years of service to the Prince William County residents.
Well, I hope it's been of help. I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. I learn something new every day, practically.
Yes.
I got a phone call back in 1990, I think it was, and the person asked me, it was the county supervisor, and she said, "What do you know about water and sewer?" And I said, "Not much, but I can learn." And I must say, I've learned a lot, and everybody here has been willing to teach, too, which is important.
I'm here with Dr. Jack Kooyoomjian, also known as Dr. Jack, one of the longest serving members on the board of directors here at the Service Authority. I know you're especially passionate about the advances we have made in environmental leadership and sustainable operations. The Service Authority maintains over $1.5 billion in assets, most which are underground. What are some of the big advances you have seen in our operations during the years you have been on the board?
What is most important to me is equipping our field personnel with the knowledge and the tools so that they can be more effective in the field. I remember back in the day when we did not have our assets documented in such a way that they were in people's heads. I can say that some of our staff that, of course, I respect all the staff, but some people were walking institutional memory for our collective system that we have in the ground. And we're saying, gee, if so-and-so leaves, what are we going to do? we realized we had to figure out how to institutionalize that in our data system.
Yes.
And so that our employees had the ability to grasp onto that information to make good decisions. And that, to me, I think is a singular most important thing. Equipping our O&M crew to have that knowledge to make sound decisions. And to the point now that they don't have to call in to the head office. They can go on their phone, go on their computers, and they can have that information literally in their hands to make those decisions.
I know environmental leadership is near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
Compliance and environmental protection is extremely important no matter where you live. And particularly here in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, our treatment standards are very high. And we are so proud of our 100% compliance record. What are some of the advances you've seen in environmental leadership?
At our base, at our core, we're a 100% compliance organization. We are striving toward 5 nines for reliability, for customer service. We have equipped our personnel in the field to have that ability to meet those performance criteria. But the personnel are stewards of the environment. They are in the field. They are our ambassadors in the environment. I guess too, as a board member, I've come from a background of having worked 40 years at the US EPA in Washington, DC, and I've worked on regulatory and science issues over the decades. And to me, to see us meet the challenges in the Service Authority for compliance, it's not just understanding that we're compliant with the rules, but we're always trying to do one better. We're always trying to give it our extra measure because we want to do the right thing. And to me, that means that the values, the core values of our organization are embodied in our employees and in the day-to-day work that they do.
What do you think your thoughts about ensuring we have a seat at the table and ensuring our voices are heard, and why it's so important in our role?
In our board vision, we have had a vision that the Service Authority would be a leader in the utility industry. So we do engage with our colleagues in technical conferences. We share our experience with others, and we take a proactive role in reaching out to train our employees and to communicate with other professionals. And for that matter, we also communicate to our citizenry about what we do and why it's important to the average consumer. In this day and age, things become more complicated in life. You've never heard of regulations becoming less complicated and legislative matters going away. They always seem to be more convoluted when we're dealing with an industry that's very heavily regulated. So we need to be proactive. We need to be able to communicate our position to the regulators and also to our colleagues in the industry so that we're working on solutions that make sense. Because we provide a product that's very important. Clean water is very important to everyone. It's not a Republican or Democratic or liberal or conservative thing. It's a basic need. It's a human need that we all have to have clean air, clean water. We always work to find solutions that make sense in this regulatory environment. And this is always a challenge, especially as we deal with PFAS, PFOA, pharmaceuticals, microplastics, all these things that we have coming into the environment that we have to deal with to protect our customers from. I need to work with the regulators and our industry colleagues to make sure that we're providing a safe, clean product at a reasonable cost.
What about other programs we have to benefit the environment?
I always say our planned capital investments that we have to replace and rehabilitate our asset ensures that we are protecting water quality and the environment and the quality of life in our community. So the preventive maintenance extends the life of our assets. We have in excess of 60,000 valves in the system. We do valve exercising at appropriate times. We also are fairly aggressive on our inflow and infiltration program so that we are making sure that we are not having intrusion into our system, that we have to treat, and that costs us capacity in the treatment plant. And then, of course, we do try to look for innovative solutions to reduce costs, and one of those is the cured-in-place piping. So where we have old piping that's cracked and that's had root intrusion and such, we'll go in and we'll clean out the pipe as best as possible, and then we'll use cured-in-place piping to seal the old piping. Especially in older neighborhoods, this is very cost-effective. And the people, too, the customers appreciate it, that we're not ripping up and putting in trenches and ripping up their old, their mature shrubbery and all of that. So we try to be cognizant of that as we go through and look at our assets. And most folks don't care for water tanks, but they've become part of our environment as well. And there are times when, if there's a power failure, general power failure in the area, you can tell the difference in Service Authority versus some other folks that don't have as resilient assets as we do. That we can go a day or so and handle things without having to tell restaurants to shut down and such. We educate our youngsters in the school system, knowing they're going to grow up and be educated customers and consumers. And we want them to know all about what we do, why we do it, and why it's so important.
So, Dr. Jack, I've heard you talk about how important it is for the Service Authority to leverage technology. What are some of the advances you've seen?
Well, I would have to say we use this term asset management, but it means that we are working smarter to figure out where should we put our budgeted dollars to replace infrastructure. We have a lot in the ground. You could say out of sight, out of mind, but not for us. In the utility industry, we need to be very cognizant of what's in the ground and what needs our attention more as a priority over some other matter. We have a lot of infrastructure above ground as well, with pump stations. We have 22 tanks up in the air and 1,200 miles of water and 1,200 miles of sewer pipe. We need to be able to leverage our technology to work smarter so that we're always in front of it in terms of the maintenance and the I&I that's needed. Things like also relining pipes. The cured-in-place pipe is really great in older communities because we don't disturb the vegetation. We can go in there and reline those pipes and get another 30, 40 years out of the system at a very reasonable cost.
We know there are many milestones you could talk about in terms of the Service Authority, and I really appreciate your time today and also providing some examples of your experience here. We appreciate your service to the organization and our customers here in Prince William County.
Thank you, Calvin. And we appreciate making sure that we're investing in our employees, have a quality workforce, and to have them embody the board vision and internalize it so that we are a constantly improving organization. And to have those values internalized by the employees means that we're getting it right.
I'm here with Mr. Paul O'Meara, our chair of our board of directors here at the Service Authority. This year, we're celebrating 40 years of providing essential water and sewer services to Prince William County. Mr. O'Meara, I know you grew up in Prince William County, and I've seen the county grow over that time. What are your thoughts about that growth?
Well, I'm a little bit older than the Service Authority. I turned 44 this year, and when I was born, there was only one road that would take you from 95 to 66 through Prince William County. That was 234, and it was just a 2-lane road. And we've come a long way since then. Back then we had 13 different water utilities in the county. Now we have 2. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of change, a lot of growth, but I think it's been for the best for our community. You know, 1983 must have been a really good year because our Board of Supervisors did something really brilliant that year. They set up a separate authority for water utilities. I've read many stories from water utilities around the country, and it seems like every time a water utility gets itself into trouble, it's because it's commingling taxpayer dollars and ratepayer dollars. The fact that we have that bifurcation in Prince William County is a huge benefit to both the taxpayers and the ratepayers. And a lot of kudos need to be given to that Board of County Supervisors in 1983 that had that vision and gave us this wonderful system that we have today. It's a great legacy, and I'm just happy to be a small part of moving it forward and maintaining it.
So like you said, we have come a long way in 40 years and remain dedicated to our mission of protecting public health and the environment. The Board of Directors recently updated the Service Authority's vision for the future. What are some of the core commitments in the vision?
Well, first and foremost is to provide clean, safe drinking water to the people of Prince William County. We want to be a trusted public steward of public monies and public utilities, and we strive to be recognized nationally for the excellence and the quality work that's done here at the Service Authority. And we also want to contribute to making Prince William County a better place to live. And also, you know, we want to diversify the Service Authority to match up with the community that we have. We have a diverse community, and Service Authority should reflect that.
The vision has 6 areas of excellence in which the Service Authority creates value for our community. Share with me a few highlights about each one. First one, let's start with exceptional customer experience.
Yeah, I've been on the board for a few years, and I have yet to meet a member of the Service Authority staff that doesn't put customer service first. It's something that truly stands out, and I'm not saying it's unique to the Service Authority, but we do it really well.
So we could not provide the excellent service we do without our people. What is the board's vision for being a workplace of choice?
Well, I agree. Our people are the key to our success. We want them to be in a rewarding and challenging environment, to grow professionally, and to be able to have those opportunities for upward mobility in their careers. The thing that's really stood out to me on the board is the number of commendations that we've done for employees that have worked for the Service Authority in some cases 20 years, 30 years. And you know, everybody's always given an opportunity to speak once they've been commended. And if there is one overall theme to what the longtime employees have said is that, you know, it's a family environment, that people care about each other here, and that's true.
Environmental leadership and community engagement is so important in our business. Mm-hmm. What is the board's vision in this area?
Well, we want to be an environmental leader. Part of that is outreach to educate the next generation about how important our environment is and how we need to protect it. The Service Authority has an extensive program going into public and private schools to educate the next generation on how they can take care of the world around them. Without these natural systems, we don't have clean water. And that alone is the reason we need to be an environmental leader, because that is our charge. It's clean water for the community, and the only way we're going to achieve that is through protecting our environment. You know, when you first got here, I think it went a period of like something like 15 to 18 months before there was an SSO, which is a sanitary sewer overflow. And you know, I'd like to give you a lot of credit for that, but that's again our people. Yeah. You know, our people were responsible for that, and to go that long without an incident like that, it's rare. It's really rare in the water utilities, and it's something that you should be proud of. And it's a good standard to keep up for these next 40 years.
Yes.
So
very proud of that.
Just wanted to make sure we recognize the good work of staff on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. The core of what we do is our sustainable operations, which is making sure that we provide reliable service and minimize disruptions for our customers. Can you talk about the importance of our sustainable operations?
Well, you know, that's kind of a buzzword these days, sustainability. And for us, it's not just a buzzword. We're taking strong actions to do it. One of the things is our SCADA system. This is a system that implements technology to monitor our assets in the ground and catch problems before they even happen. Being out ahead of these things and managing issues as they come up, there's no other way that we can sustain our system than having intelligence on the system. And that's what a system such as SCADA provides, and that's why the board is very excited about supporting that project in the future. Another aspect of the sustainability of the Service Authority is reflected in our CIP, our Capital Improvement Program. And you know, I know that a lot of utilities struggle with that. We don't. And I think the folks at the Service Authority appreciate the commitment that the board and senior staff have in executing our CIP. It allows us to maintain the system and to be ahead of problems before they occur. And most importantly, it allows us to be a dynamic organization.
Our fifth area of excellence is financial stewardship, which is essential to ensure that we are responsible managers of our ratepayers' funds. How does the board view financial stewardship?
Well, we take the oversight of ratepayers' money very seriously. I think you'll find that if you look at the rates throughout our region, we are highly competitive. And when you put that in the light of the quality of service and the reliability that we deliver, I put the Service Authority ahead of most every water utility in the country at this point. We put a lot of effort into long-term planning and being good financial stewards. And the fruit of that, one of the fruits of that, is our AAA bond rating. We're very proud of that. It allows us to borrow money and leverage our good credit for the benefit of ratepayers so that we can improve our assets and our overall system.
Continuous improvement and innovation is an important area of excellence and embedded in the Service Authority's culture. Can you talk about the board's vision for continuous improvements?
You know, I would love for the board to take credit for all the improvements that are done here, but it's not something that we're responsible for. The people here are responsible for. One of the things I found out when I first got on the board was that there was a competition amongst staff for innovation, and an award is given every year, and it kind of blew me away when I first found out about it. I mean, how many government, quasi-government organizations have that sort of program in place where they look inside and they look to the staff, how can we improve it? How can we make this better? And you can always tell when I'm out on the site, I'm at the Mooney plant, or I'm on one of our sites, I see guys, I can see the things turning in their head. How can we do this better? And it shows, because we do a lot of things really well and we're always striving to do them better.
Thank you so much for your time today and for talking with us about what you and the Board of Directors envision for the future of the Service Authority. We are so proud of the service we have provided for the past 40 years, and we look forward to many, many more years of providing the Prince William County residents and community with water and wastewater services. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.